Welcome to a new deep dive. This is where we take a stack of your sources, pull out the really important insights, and basically give you a shortcut to being truly well-informed. Today, we are diving into, well, a pretty high-stakes clash. It involves three huge names in tech: Elon Musk, Apple, and Sam Altman from OpenAI. Yeah, we've got sources here detailing some heated accusations, hypocrisy, alleged antitrust stuff, and this long-running feud. It's not just shaping the future of AI, it could actually change how you access AI, your whole digital experience, really. So, our mission today: unpack these claims, understand the tensions, and show why this little app store spat is, well, maybe a bigger deal than it looks. So what is really going on when giants like Musk and Apple clash over something seemingly simple like, app rankings? Okay, let's get into it. All right, let's dive right into the core of this because it really shows how fast these tech fights can blow up. The current drama is centered on Elon Musk's AI startup, XAI, and its chatbot, Grok. Musk has been very public in accusing Apple of rigging its App Store rankings.
Specifically, he's alleging Apple gives preferential treatment to OpenAI's ChatGPT.
Right, which is sitting at #1 in the top free apps list in the U.S. App Store.
Exactly. And meanwhile, his Grok AI chatbot is, way lower, number 5 or 6 among free iPhone apps in the U.S.
A significant difference in visibility.
Absolutely. And Musk, well, he hasn't minced words. He's calling it an unequivocal antitrust violation.
Strong words.
Very. He even posted on X saying, Apple is behaving in a manner that makes it impossible for any AI company besides OpenAI to reach #1 in the App Store.
Wow, so he's directly saying Apple's actively blocking competitors to benefit OpenAI.
That's the claim. And he didn't stop there. He publicly questioned Apple's editorial choices, too.
Oh, yeah. What did he say?
He put up a pinned post asking, hey, at Apple App Store, why do you refuse to put either X or Grok in your must-have section when X is the #1 news app? Are you playing politics? What gives?
Trying to tie App Store curation directly to political bias. Interesting tactic.
And Grok's official account, which Musk obviously amplified, kind of echoed that. Said Apple's curation appears biased, favoring established AI like ChatGPT.o or innovative challengers.
Okay, so framing Grok as the innovative challenger being held back.
Right. And it also argued that, maybe the editorial picks reflect caution about XAI's, quote, unfiltered style, but that stifles competition and that truth matters more than politics.
Well, what's really fascinating here is Musk then announced XAI would take immediate legal action against Apple.
Immediate legal action.
Yeah. So it really begs the question, what's actually behind this very public challenge? I mean, on the surface, it seems like frustration, right?
Yeah.
ChatGPT's #1, Grok isn't.
Seems straightforward enough.
But, and this is important, neither Musk nor XAI has actually provided specific evidence, proof of this marketplace manipulation.
Oh, okay. So it's an accusation without the receipts, so to speak.
Pretty much, at least publicly. App Store rankings, usually they consider things like download numbers, user engagement, ratings, reviews, standard stuff.
Right.
And ChatGPT, it's been around longer. It has an established user base, so those factors could naturally lead to a higher ranking. It doesn't automatically mean manipulation.
So Musk could just be fighting against, normal market dynamics and slapping an antitrust label on it.
Yeah.
What's the play there if the legal case isn't, super strong? Is it just PR?
Well, yeah, PR is definitely part of it. Immediate goal, get attention for Grok, put pressure on Apple. But it's also clever because it taps into this broader anti-big tech feeling out there.
Okay, right.
He's trying to paint Apple as the bad guy, the anti-competitive gatekeeper, even if their ranking system is, arguably just standard practice. It's a gamble, really, to force a conversation, maybe get some concessions, or at least debate App Store transparency.
Makes sense. But of course, when Musk makes noise like that, Sam Altman, OpenAI CEO, isn't going to stay quiet.
Not likely, given their history.
Exactly. Altman hit back pretty fast.
What did he say?
He basically accused Musk of hypocrisy, suggested Musk manipulates his own platform, X, to help his own companies and hurt rivals.
Turning the table.
Yeah, he said, this is a remarkable claim, given what I have heard alleged that Elon does to manipulate X to benefit himself and his own companies and harm his competitors and people he doesn't like. Direct quote.
Oof. That's pointed.
Definitely. And Altman also defended OpenAI working with Apple. That big deal announced in June, ChatGPT integrated into Siri, Apple Intelligent.
Right, the integration across iOS, iPadOS, macOS.
Altman called it mutually beneficial and stressed, the importance of a competitive AI ecosystem, which is interesting given Musk's framing.
Indeed.
And we have to remember, this isn't just some new spat that popped up yesterday.
Oh, no, this goes way back.
Because another chapter in this really long-running feud, public and legal, between Altman and Musk. They co-founded OpenAI, remember?
Right, but Musk left back in 2018. Disagreements over OpenAI going from nonprofit to, well, for-profit.
Yeah.
And if you connect this to the bigger picture, that history is just incredibly complex. It's business, it's philosophy.
For sure.
Altman actually filed a lawsuit against Musk back in April, saying Musk was trying to undermine OpenAI. And Musk simultaneously filed his own suit, arguing OpenAI had strayed from its mission, the whole AI for the benefit of humanity thing.
Right, that original mission statement.
Yeah. And, Musk said way back in 2014, famously, that AI is potentially more dangerous than nukes.
Wow, I remember that.
That quote alone just really highlights the deep, deep philosophical divide between them. And that's fueling these current fights, absolutely.
So this feud has deep roots. And now this whole clash is playing out while Apple itself is facing intense regulatory heat over its App Store.
Which is a huge part of their business. Generates, what, over 20% of their services revenue?
Yeah, massive. And the legal challenges are piling up. In the U.S., you've got the Department of Justice, state attorneys general.
All looking at antitrust issues. Potentially forcing changes to that 30% commission, maybe allowing third-party payments.
Exactly. And a federal judge already ruled in April that Apple violated an injunction from that big 2021 Epic Games lawsuit. Remember Fortnite?
Oh, yeah. The court said Apple broke California competition law, ordered them to let developers point users to other payment options.
No, which Apple has been fighting tooth and nail, right?
Pretty much resisting those changes. And there's even talk of a potential criminal contempt investigation looming over that resistance.
And it's not just the U.S. breathing down their neck.
Nope. Europe's been very active, too.
The EU's Digital Markets Act, the DMA, that led to that huge fine, $500 million, about $570 million U.S.
Yep, back in April, for stopping developers from telling users about cheaper options outside the App Store. Standard DMA stuff.
Apple's appealing, naturally. But the DMA also forces them to allow third-party app stores and payment systems in Europe. Big changes.
So this really raises a critical question for Apple, doesn't it? What are the broader financial implications here if this pressure keeps up?
What are analysts saying?
Well, some estimate that if just, say, 28% of developers switch to alternative payments, Apple could see like a 2% hit to its earnings per share.
Okay, that's noticeable.
And beyond that, potentially, App Store revenue could drop by, get this, $10 billion to $15 billion a year if they're forced to allow those external payments widely.
Wow, 10 to 15 billion. That's serious money, even for Apple.
It is. And remember, it's not just the App Store. They also face that DOJ case over the Google search deal.
Right, the default search engine payment.
Which reportedly brings in $20 billion to $24 billion annually for Apple. So that's another potential hit to their margins. Now, look. Apple has a fortress balance sheet, right? $100 billion in cash reserves. They're pivoting hard into AI.
They can weather some storms.
They can. But these regulatory shifts, they represent really significant financial risks coming from multiple directions at once.
Wow. So yeah, despite all that cash, Apple's definitely feeling the squeeze. That's quite a juggling act for them.
Absolutely. It really is kind of a perfect storm of regulatory and competitive pressures right now.
Okay, so considering all Apple's regulatory battles, it's worth shifting back to Musk for a sec.
Yeah.
Because he's no stranger to legal fights himself, right?
Not at all.
His willingness to sue Apple, one of the biggest companies on earth, it shows his frustration with the AI competition. But his own companies are hardly immune.
Good point. Like X, for example.
Yeah, X, his social media platform, reported a massive 53% revenue drop in Q2 2024.
Which was largely blamed on his controversial content moderation changes and advertisers leaving, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
And what did X do? They filed their own antitrust lawsuit against the Global Alliance for Responsible Media, JR, and big advertisers like Unilever, CVS.
Claiming a coordinated boycott. So using antitrust as both a sword and a shield, essentially.
Seems like it. Plus, Tesla faces ongoing lawsuits. Racial discrimination claims, and HTSA investigations into safety stuff.
Right. So this all highlights a pretty consistent pattern with Musk, doesn't it? Aggressive legal strategies.
Definitely seems that way.
His readiness to, weaponize antitrust, claims to protect his empire, seems like a key part of his whole approach to competition.
But, as you said earlier, actually proving antitrust violations against Apple here, That requires specific proof of anti-competitive behavior, actual harm to competition, not just, my app isn't number one.
Precisely. And the lack of concrete evidence, publicly anyway, really weakens his legal position considerably in this specific Apple case.
So maybe it's less about actually winning in court and more about putting Apple on the defensive, creating noise, trying to carve out space for Grok in the market.
I think that's a very plausible interpretation. It's a play for public perception, market leverage. This conflict, honestly, regardless of how the lawsuits turn out, it absolutely underscores how intense the competition in AI is becoming.
It feels like the stakes are getting higher all the time.
They are. It's not just about who builds the best AI anymore. It's also about who controls the platforms, the operating system for AI, if you will, who determines which models get prime access to billions of users and all the data needed to train the next generation.
Right. The access point is key.
Exactly. These platform policies, these big partnerships like Apple and OpenAI, corporate strategies, they're all deeply tangled up now, and they're actively shaping the future landscape of AI.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, it's pretty clear this clash between Musk, Apple, and Altman. It's more than just app rankings or some personal vendetta.
Much more. It's really a microcosm, isn't it? A small picture of this larger fundamental battle.
A battle for control over these digital marketplaces and over the whole burgeoning AI landscape itself.
Absolutely.
And for you, the listener, what this means is your very access to AI, your experience with these cutting-edge technologies, even the choices you have within app stores. They're all being shaped right now by these huge, high-stakes legal fights and public power plays.
Yeah, it really forces us to ask the big question.
Like, is all this conflict going to lead to a more open, competitive space where innovation can really flourish?
Or will it just end up concentrating power even more among the few existing giants?
That's the multi-billion-dollar question, isn't it? The whole transformation of the App Store ecosystem, driven by lawsuits, by regulation, by these aggressive corporate tactics, it feels like a real bellwether for where tech is headed.
It really does.
So maybe the final thought for you to consider is, what steps do you think companies like Apple or other major platforms should actually take? How do they balance driving innovation, maintaining security, and ensuring genuine, fair competition, especially now in this AI era? Something to think about.